Many of us grow up with a feeling that the universe doesn't really have our back. We don't feel supported. We almost feel like we're being punished sometimes. When we're doing really good, bad things happen. Why is this the case? Watch this video. Let's be honest. Most of us grew up in a society where there was very specific rights, wrongs, goods, bads. What I would call judgment. There's a judgment. It's either right or it's wrong. It's either good or it's bad. And a lot of times we take that on into the world as we get older because we haven't double-checked some things, or we haven't had any need to change those beliefs that we've really come into, and we don't really have any reason to think otherwise. But this sort of black and white thinking can cause us a lot of trouble. It certainly caused me a lot of trouble in my life when I would think black or white and that's it, and if it's not this way, it must be this way, and if it's not this person, it must be that person, if it's not this job, it's that. So crazy. And the funny thing is, a lot of us project that onto our idea of the universe or God. Do you know what I'm talking about when you're doing really well and you think you're doing everything right, and then all of a sudden something smacks you in your life and some bad scenario happens? Do you ever say to yourself, oh my God, what did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve this? Why am I being punished? Why is this happening to me? Did I do something wrong? I guarantee if you're watching this video, this might have happened to you, because it certainly happened to me for a lot of years. And what I finally came to after a long time of struggling with this is my black and white thinking was being projected onto my image of the universe. Now, what's interesting is when I started dissecting this and I started thinking, what if it isn't right or wrong, it just is? What if it isn't good or bad, it just is? And I started applying this in my life. I started applying this to my own thoughts about my own self, about others, that was a big one, about my job and what I was doing and how I was doing my day and how I was seeing life. And what started happening is I noticed I was afraid of a gray area. And I was afraid of the gray area because that wasn't certain. And that couldn't be controlled, and that couldn't be for sure. And a lot of times when we feel unsafe in certain ways, we look for the specific, we look for the certain, we look for the certainty. And that looks like black or white. That looks like a safe zone either way. And what I've noticed in my own life is that false safe zone is actually what kept me feeling so unsafe so much at the time. Because I always thought, if I do it this way, God will honor me and this will happen, or everything will flow. And if I do something wrong or something doesn't work out, that means I did it wrong. And if this looks like it's a positive direction, then that's where I'm supposed to go. And it's such this external way that we live in so many ways. We're constantly taught, and then we constantly do, this external guidance. We're constantly, you guys know I talk about this a lot with other areas, but we're constantly looking for signs, which I think are great, but we overdo it and we're like, that was a sign, I'm supposed to go that way. Without checking in, how do I feel? What do I think? What is my desire in this way? And instead of feeling empowered about it, we go back to, well, what should I think? Because what's right and what's wrong? And if I was doing it right, I would think this. And if I was this perfect, awesome person, I would do that. And it's all crap, you guys. It really is. And I'm just saying from my own experience and many other people that I work with. But this is what always comes up, is we project this onto God and we think the universe doesn't have our back when bad things happen. And we think the universe doesn't have our back when we don't get what we think we're supposed to have or what we want. And what I just want to encourage you to look at today is, if we take that projection off of the universe and we say, what if there is no right way to do things or wrong way to do things, or right direction or purpose that I'm supposed to be doing, or wrong direction or that I'm not supposed to be going? I'm not being punished for choosing wrong. I just have the option to choose different. And the universe may be rejecting because it's wrong direction, right? Some things won't happen because maybe there's something better. But it's not something's not happening because you don't deserve. It's something's not happening because there's something better. There's something more in alignment with you. And it's really about you getting in alignment with you so that you can see that the universe always has your back when you have your own back. But it's having your own back in your authentic self, not having your own back in your idealistic self. Ideally, I should do that. No, you know what I'm saying? When I got super real about how I feel and I started to really heal, as you guys know I always talk about, I started noticing that my relationship with the universe was freaking awesome. I started noticing that all these fears I had or projections I put onto why things were happening were totally in my head. First of all, huge aha moment. But second of all, placed on there because I had projected some of the authority figures in my younger life onto the universe as well. You know, when we're punished as kids and we think, I'm not going to be loved if I don't do it right. But right according to who? There's no set of rules outside of us that we have to really cater to anymore. Those set of rules are within us. And it's really about creating this really amazing daily practice of tuning inward through meditation, through self-love practices. If you guys haven't checked out my self-love masterclass, the link will be below, which is both meditation and self-love practices, because what that does is it really gets you tuned in with your own wise guide inside. And when you do that, you realize that your experience of something higher that you feel within is completely linked with the one that you experience out there. You don't have to find it or follow it. You can feel it, discover it, and then it's reflected. So I want to encourage you guys to try that this week. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing week, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.